mind. And a lot of the new men were married, naturally.
Sure.
Like you, baby.
Like you, baby.
And then along came George. Along come George.
Along come George, Baron Hooch. What are you doing now, Martha?
I'm telling a story. Sit down, you'll learn something.
All righty.
You've come back.
That's right.
Dear, he's come back.
Yes, I see.
Where was I?
I'm so glad.
Oh, yeah. Along come George into the history department, who was young and intelligent and bright-eyed and sort of cute, if you can believe that.
Younger than you?
And younger than me.
By 6 years.
By 6 years. It doesn't bother me, George.
Okay.
So along came George into the history department, and do you know what I did? Dumb cluck that I am? I fell for him.
That's nice.
Yes, she did. Well, hell, you should have seen it. She would sit outside of my room at night on the lawn, and she'd howl and claw at the turf. I couldn't work.
I actually fell for him. It. That there.
Martha is a romantic.
That I am. So I fell for him. And the match seemed practical too, you know? I mean, Daddy had always had it into his head to train somebody, to take over
Martha.
someday when he decided to retire.
Stop it, Martha!
What do you want?
I thought you were telling the story of our courtship, Martha. I didn't know you were going to go in on this other business.
Well, I am.
Oh, well, I wouldn't if I were you.
Oh, you wouldn't? Well, you're not.
See, Martha, you've already sprung a leak about you-know-what. So
What? What?
about the apple of our eye, the sprout, the little bugger, our son. Now, I warn you, Martha, if you start in on this other business, it's just going to make me angry.
Oh, it is it?
I warn you.
What?
I warn you.
Do we really have to go through?
I stand warned. So, I married the SOB. And I had it all planned out. He was the groom. He was going to be groomed. He'd take over. First, he'd take over the history department. And then, later, when Daddy retired, he'd take over the college. That's the way it was supposed to be. You getting angry, baby? That's the way it was supposed to be. Very simple. And Daddy seemed to think it was a good idea, too. At first. Until he watched for a couple of years. You getting angrier? Until he watched for a couple of years and he decided maybe it wasn't such a good idea after all. I mean, George didn't really seem to have much push. He wasn't particularly aggressive. In fact, he was a great,
Just stop it, Martha.
big, he was a flop. A great big fat flop.
Said stop it, Martha.
I hope that was an empty bottle, George. Can't afford to waste good liquor. Not on your salary. Not on an associate professor's salary. I mean, he'd be no good at fundraisers, trustees, dinners. He didn't seem to have any personality, you know what I mean? Which was a disappointment to Daddy, as you can imagine.
Don't go on.
Oh, hell I won't. So here I am, married to this flop,
All right.
this bog in the history department, who's married to the president's daughter, who's supposed to actually be somebody, not just some nobody, some bookworm, somebody who's so goddamn contemplative that he can't even make anything out of himself. Somebody without the guts to make anybody proud of him. All right, George.
I'm doing like an all on Still have 35, do you? Oh yeah, yeah. My dad. So are you looking in the Kansas City? Currently I'm living in New York and coming back and forth. Good. I may be able to duck down out of the camera shot every time I go back and forth.
You're good.
Stuart, John, you all ready?
I'm ready whenever you are.
Yes, sir. Take the house lights out. Put off.
I guess she's all right. She shouldn't drink. She's frail. Slim hip as you'd have it. I'm really terribly sorry.
Where's my little yum? Where's Martha?
She's making coffee in the kitchen. She gets sick quite easily.
Martha? Oh, no. Martha hasn't been sick a day in her life unless you count the time she spends in the rest home.
No, my wife. My wife gets sick quite easily. Your wife is Martha.
Yes,
She
I
do-
know.
She doesn't really spend any time in the rest home.
Your wife?
No, yours.
Oh, mine. No, she doesn't. I would, if I were her. I would, but I'm not, so I don't. I'd like to though, it gets pretty bouncy around here sometimes.
Yes, I'm sure.
You saw an example of it.
I try not to.
Get involved, isn't that right?
Yes, that's right.
I'd imagine not.
I find it embarrassing.
Oh, do you, huh?
Yes, really, quite.
Yes, really. Quite. It's disgusting.
Now look,
It's disgusting. Do you think I like having that, whatever it is, ridiculing me, tearing me down in front of you? Do you think I care for it?
No, I don't imagine you care for it at all.
Oh, you don't imagine it, huh?
No, I don't imagine you do.
Your sympathy disarms me. Your compassion makes me weep. Large, salty, unscientific tears.
I just don't understand why you and your wife feel you need to subject other people to it.
I?
If you and your wife want to go around talking to each other like a couple of
Why, I want to.
animals, I don't see why you don't wait
Why,
for
you smug,
you
self-righteous
can't,
little
Mr. Scientist! I've never hit an older man.
So, you just hit younger men. Children, women, birds. Well, you're quite right, of course. It isn't the prettiest spectacle seeing a couple of middle-aged types hacking away at each other, all red in the face and winded, missing half the time.
You two don't miss. You're pretty impressive.
And impressive things impress you, don't they? You're easily impressed, sort of a pragmatic idealism.
No, it's just that sometimes I can admire things that I don't admire. Now, flagellation isn't my idea of a good time, but...
You can admire a good flagellator, a real pro.
Yeah.
So, it's your wife, she throws up a lot, huh?
I didn't say that. I said she gets sick quite easily.
Oh, I thought that by sick you meant that
Well, it's true. She throws up an awful lot. And when she gets started, there's practically no stopping her. She'll go right on for hours. Not all the time, but regularly.
you can tell time by her, huh?
Just about.
Drink.
Sure. I married her because she was pregnant.
Oh? But you said you didn't have any children when I asked you before.
She wasn't really. It was a hysterical pregnancy. She blew up, and then she went down.
While she was up, you married her.
And then she went down.
Bourbon is right, huh?
Yes, bourbon.
When I was going to prep school, when I was 16, during the Punic Wars, this bunch of us used to go into New York on the first day of vacations before we fanned out to our homes. And in the evening, this bunch of us would go to this gin mill owned by the gangster father of one of us. For this was during the Great Experiment, you see, or Prohibition, as it's more frequently called. And it was a bad time for the liquor lobbies, but it was a fine time for the crooks and the cops. And we would go into this gin mill, and we'd drink with the grown-ups, and we'd listen to the jazz. and this one time, in the bunch of us, there was this boy who was 15 who had killed his mother with the shotgun some years before, and accidentally, completely accidentally, without even an unconscious motivation, I have no doubt at all. But at any rate, this one evening, this boy went with us, and we'd all ordered our drinks, and when it came his turn, he said, "I'll have some Virgin." "Give me some Virgin, please. Virgin and water." Well, we all laughed. I mean, he was blonde, he had the face of a cherub, and we all laughed. Oh, and his cheeks went red and the color rose in his neck. And the assistant cook who had taken our order, he went and told the people at the next table what the boy had said. And they all laughed. More people were told. The laughter grew, and more people, more laughter. And no one was laughing more than us, and none of us laughing more than that boy who had killed his mother. And after a little while, of course, everyone in the gin mill, they knew what the laughter was about. Everyone started ordering Virgin and laughing while they did it. And of course, after some time, the laughter became less general, but it didn't subside entirely for quite some time. For always at this table or that, someone would order Virgin, and a new area of laughter would rise. We drank free that night, and we were bought champagne by the management, by the gangster father of one of us. And of course we suffered the next day. Each of us alone on his train, away from New York, and each of us with a grown-up's hangover, but it was the grandest day of my youth.
Thank you. What happened to the boy? The boy who shot his mother?
I won't tell you that.
All right.
The following summer, on a country road with his learner's permit in his pocket, his father in the front seat to his right, she swerved the car to avoid a porcupine, and he drove straight into a large tree.
No.
He was not killed, of course, and in the hospital when he was conscious and out of danger, and after they told him that his father was dead, he began to laugh, I've been told. And as laughter grew, and it wouldn't stop. And it wasn't until after they jammed a needle in his arm. Not until his consciousness slipped away from him. Not till after that his laughter finally subsided and stopped. And when he was recovered from his injuries enough so that he could be moved without injury, should he struggle, he was put in an asylum. That was 30 years ago.
Is he still there?
Oh yes. Oh yes. And I've been told that for these 30 years, he has not uttered one sound. and making coffee for your hysterical wife who goes up and down.
Went up and down.
Went? No more?
No more. Nothing.
The saddest thing about men, well, no. One of the saddest things about them is the way that they age. Some of them. Do you know what it is about insane people? Do you? The quiet ones?
No.
They don't change. They don't grow old.
They must.
Yes. I mean, yes, eventually, probably, but they don't, in the usual sense. They maintain a firm-skinned serenity. The underuse of everything, it leaves them quite whole.
Are you recommending it?
No. No, but some things are sad, though. But, just gotta buck up and face them, that's all. Buck up. Martha, she doesn't have any hysterical pregnancies.
My wife had one.
Yes. Martha, she doesn't have any pregnancies at all.
Well, no, I don't expect so. Now. Do you have any daughters or any other?
We have any other what?
Do you have any other children? Your son?
Oh. That, no. No, just the one. One boy. Our son.
Well, that's nice.
Well, yeah, so he's a comfort. A beanbag.
A what?
A beanbag. Beanbag. You wouldn't understand. A beanbag.
I heard you. I didn't say I was deaf. I said I didn't
You
understand.
didn't say that at all.
I meant I was implying I didn't understand. For Christ's sake.
You're getting testy.
I'm sorry.
Well, I said it was our son, the apple of our three eyes, Martha being a cyclops. All I said was that our son is a beanbag, and you get testy.
I'm sorry. It's late. My wife is in the can. We've been drinking since 9 o'clock, and there's a lot of people yelling around here.
And so you're testy. Naturally, don't worry about it. Everyone that comes around here ends up getting testy. I mean, it's expected. Don't be upset.
I'm not upset.
You're testy.
Yes.
I want to set you straight about something while the little ladies are out of the room. I want to set you straight about what Martha said.
No, I don't make judgments, so don't feel...
Well, I want to. I know you don't like to become involved, and I know you like to preserve your scientific detachment in face of, for lack of a better word, life and all, but still, I want to tell you.
I'm a guest, so you just go right ahead.
Oh. Well, gee, thanks. That makes me feel all warm and runny inside.
Oh, right. You don't have to
Hey!
start up with
Hark,
that kind
chorus
of thing
sounds.
again. Huh?
Animal noises.
Oh.
Hey,
Ah, here's Nursey.
we are sitting up, we are drinking coffee, and we'll be back in.
Is there anything I should do?
Nah, you just stay here and listen to George's side of things. Bore yourself to tears.
Monster.
Cochon,
Hey.
cannelle.
Da.
You two types amuse yourselves. We'll be back. Did you clean up the mess you made, George?
No, Martha. I did not clean up the mess I made. I've been trying for years to clean up the mess I made.
Have you?
Hmm?
Have you been trying for years?
Accommodation, malleability, adjustment. Those do seem to be in the order of things, don't they?
Don't try to put me in the same class with you.
Oh, no, things are simpler with you. I mean, you married a girl because she's all blown up. Well, me and my clumsy old-fashioned
There was
way.
more to it than that.
Yes, I'm sure that she had some money too.
Yes.
Yes? Oh. Yes, you mean I was right? I hit it?
Well, you see,
My God, what archery! First try too, how about that?
you see.
There was other things to
Yes.
compensate.
Yes.
Oh, there always are. No, I'm sure that there are. I don't mean to sound flip, but there are always compensating factors, isn't the case with Martha and myself. Now, on the
You
surface
see, we
of
sort of grew up together and
it seems to be a knack about dragging out a fair on the surface of it.
met when we were like 6 or something, and then
But somewhere back at the
Well,
beginning of that.
we.
Back when I first came to New Carthage. Somewhere.
I'm sorry.
What?
No,
Oh.
no, it's all right.
Oh no, I'm sorry. No, you go on. You go right ahead.
Oh.
No, you're the guest. I insist.
Well, it seems kind of silly now.
No, nonsense. But if you were 6, you must have been what, 4 or something.
Well, maybe I was 8 and she was 6.
Mm.
We used to play doctor.
Oh. Well, that's a nice, healthy heterosexual beginning, isn't it?
Yep.
A scientist even then, huh?
Yeah. And it was sort of taken for granted by our families and by us that eventually we would do it.
Do what?
We would get married.
When you were 8?
No, of course not. Much later.
Oh, well, I wondered.
And there wasn't ever really any particular passion about it, even at the beginning of our marriage, I mean.
Oh, that's no surprise. Certainly no earth-shaking discoveries after Doctor and all.
No.
Everything does tend to be rather the same, despite what they say about Chinese women.
What's that?
Let me freshen you up.
After a while, you don't get any drunker, do ya?
No, you do. But it's different. Yeah, everything slows down. You get sodden. Unless you can upchuck like your wife, well, then you can sort of start all over again.
Everybody drinks a lot out here in the East. People drink a lot in the Middle West, too.
We drink a great deal in this country, and I suspect we should drink a great deal more if we survive. We should be like the Arabs or the Italians. The Arabs, they don't drink. And then the Italians, they don't get drunk much except on religious holidays. We should live on Crete or something.
And I suppose that would make us Cretans, or...
So it would. So it would. So tell me about your wife's money.
Why?
All right, then. Don't, then.
What do you want to know about my wife's money for, huh?
I thought it would be nice.
Oh, you didn't.
All right. Well, I want to know about your wife's money because I am fascinated by the methodology, by the pragmatic accommodation you wave of the future boys are going to take over.
You're starting in again.
Am I? No, I'm not. Martha, she's got some money too. I mean, hell, her father's been robbing this place blind for years.
No, he hasn't. He has not.
He hasn't?
No.
Okay, then. Martha's father has not been robbing this place blind for years, and Martha, she doesn't have any money, okay?
We were talking about my wife. My wife's money.
Okay. So, talk.
No. My father-in-law, he was a man of God.
Mm-hmm. What faith?
My father-in-law, he was called when he was 6 or something by God, and he started preaching, and he baptized people, and he saved them, And he traveled around a lot. Not like some of them. But he traveled around a lot and he became pretty famous. And when he died, he had some money.
God's money.
No, his own.
What happened to God's money?
Well, he spent all of God's money and he
Oh
saved
my
his own. And he built hospitals and he sent off mercy ships and he built 3 churches or whatever you call them, and 2 of them sort of burned down and
Oh.
he became pretty rich.
Well, I think that's very nice.
Yes. And so, my wife's got some money.
But not God's money.
No, her own.
Well, I think that's very nice. Martha, she's got money because Martha's father's second wife, well, not Martha's mother, but after Martha's mother died, was a very old lady with warts who was very rich.
She was a witch.
She was a good witch. And she married the white mouse with the beady little red eyes. And he must have nibbled her warts or something, because she went up in a puff of smoke almost immediately. Poof! 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 And all that was left of her, aside from some wart medicine, of course, was a big old fat will. A peach pie with some for the township of New Carthage, some for the college, some for Martha's daddy, and just this much for Martha.
Maybe my father-in-law and the witch with the warts should have gotten together. Because he was a mouse too.
He was?
Yeah, he was a church mouse.
Oh, God.
Hey, your wife never mentioned a stepmother.
Oh, well, maybe that's because it isn't true.
And maybe it is.
Might be. It might not. But I think your story's a lot nicer anyway. About your pumped up little wife and your father-in-law who was a priest.
He was not a priest. He was a man of God.
Yes.
And she wasn't pumped up. She blew up.
Yes. Yes.
Get things straight.
I will. Sorry, I will.
Okay.
You do realize that I'm drawing you out on this stuff, not because I'm interested in your terrible lifehood, but because you represent a direct and pertinent threat to my lifehood, and I want to get the goods on you.
Sure.
I mean, I warned you. You stand warned.
I stand warned. Oh, it's you sneaky types that worry me the most. You ineffectual sons of bitches. You're the worst.
Yeah, yes we are. An elbow in your steely blue eye and a knee in your solid gold groin. We are the worst.
Yep.
Well, I'm glad that you don't believe me. And I know you've got history on your side. And all.
You've got history on your side. I've got biology on mine. History, biology.
I know the difference.
You don't act it.
No. Hell, I thought we decided you'd take over the history department first, before you took over the whole works, a step at a time.
No. You see, what I thought I'd do is I'd sort of insinuate myself generally. I'd sort of play around for a while, find all the weak spots and shore them up, but with my nameplate on. And then I'd become sort of a fact. As a what?
An inevitability.
An inevitability. Exactly. And then I'd take over some courses from some of the older men, start some special interest groups, plow a few pertinent
Now,
wives.
see? There you go. That's the ticket. I mean, you can take over all the courses that you want to. You can get as much of the young elite together in the gymnasium as you like. You can but until you start plowing some pertinent wives, you aren't really working. The way to a man's heart is through his wife's belly, and don't you forget it.
Yeah, I know.
And the women around here, oh, they're no better than putas. You know, the South American ladies of the night. Do you know what they do in South America? In Rio, the putas, they hiss like geese. They will stand around in the street and they'll hiss at you like a bunch of geese.
It's gangle.
The what?
It's not a bunch of geese. It's a gangle of geese.
If you want to get all cute about it, all ornithological, it is not a gangle, it's a gaggle. Not gangle, gaggle.
Gaggle, not gangle?
That is right. Gaggle.
Oh.
Oh. Yeah, they stand around in the street like a bunch of geese, hissing away. All the faculty wives downtown in New Carthage in front of the AMP, hissing away like a bunch of geese. That's the way to power. Plow them all.
I'll bet you're right.
Oh, well, I am.
I bet your wife's the biggest goose in the gang. Gaggle. Her father's president and all.
You bet your historical inevitability she is.
Yes, sir. I better just get her up in a corner and mount her like a goddamn dog, eh?
You certainly better.
You know, I almost think you're serious.
No, baby. You almost think you're serious, and it scares the hell out of you.
Me?
Yes, you.
You're kidding.
I wish I were. I'll give you some good advice if you want me to.
Oh, good advice from you. Oh,
You
boy.
haven't learned yet. Take it wherever you can get it.
Oh,
Listen
come
to
on,
me.
babe.
I'm trying to give you some good advice
Good
here.
Lord.
There's quicksand around here, and you'll be dragged down.
boy.
Just before you know it, sucked down. You disgust me on principle, and you're a smug son of a bitch personally, but I'm trying to give you a survival kit. Do you hear me?
I hear you. You come in loud.
All right.
Hey, honey.
All right, you want to play it by ear anyway, right? Everything's going to work out anyway because of the timetable's history. Isn't that right?
All right. You just tend to your knitting, Grandma. I'll be okay.
I've tried to reach you. I've tried to...
Make contact.
Yes.
Communicate.
Yes. Exactly.
Well, that is touching. That's what that is. That's just downright moving. Up yours!
What?
You heard me.
You take the trouble to construct a civilization, to build a society on the principles of principle. You endeavor to make communicable sense out of natural order, morality out of the natural disorder of man's mind. You make government, you make art, and you realize that they are, well, they must be both the same. You bring things to the saddest of all points, to the point where there is something to lose. And what do you hear through all the sensible sounds of men building, attempting, comes the dies irae. And what does the trumpet sound? Up yours! I suppose there's justice to it after all these years. Up yours!
Oh, bravo!
Thank you.
Here we are, a little shaky,
No!
but on our feet.
Oh, hi, honey. You better?
A little bit, dear. Better sit down now.
You come on and sit by me.
Thank you, dear.
Well, aren't you going to apologize?
For what, Martha?
For making the little lady throw up, what else?
I did not make her throw up.
You most certainly did.
No.
No, no.
Well, who do you think did then? Sexy over there? You think he made his own little wife sick?
You make me sick.
Well, that's different.
No, I throw up. I mean, I get sick occasionally, all by myself, without any reason.
Is that a
Yes.
fact?
You're delicate.
I've always done it.
Like Big Ben?
Watch it.
And the doctors say there's nothing wrong with me organically, you
Of
know.
course there's not.
Just before we got married, I developed appendicitis, or everybody thought that it was appendicitis, but it turned out it was just a false alarm.
Get me a drink. George makes everybody sick. Why, when our son was a little boy,
No, Martha.
he used to throw up all the time because of George.
Said don't.
Got to the point where when George walked in the room, he'd start writing retching.
Oh, the real reason our son used to throw up all the time, wife and lover, was nothing more complicated than he couldn't stand you fiddling at him all the time. Breaking into his bedroom, your kimono flying open, fiddling at him all the time with your liquor breath on him and your hands on him.
Oh, yeah? And I suppose that's why he ran away twice in 1 month. Twice in 1 month, 6 times in 1 year.
Our son ran away all the time because Martha here used to corner him.
I never cornered the son of a bitch in my life.
Oh, he'd come up to me after I come home from work, and he'd say, "Mama's always coming at me." That's what he'd say.
Liar.
That's the way it was. You were always coming at him. I thought it was very embarrassing.
Well, if you thought it was so embarrassing, what are you talking about it for?
Yeah. Thanks, sweetheart.
I never want to talk about him. I'd be happy to just never discuss this entire subject. I never want to talk about it.
Yes, you do.
When we are alone.
We're
maybe.
alone.
No, love. We got guests.
Could I have a little brandy? I think I'd like a little brandy.
Do you think you should?
Oh, yes. Yes, dear.
Sure.
You really
Fill her
think
up.
you should?
It will steady me, dear. I feel a little unsteady.
Oh, hell. Sure, you can't walk steady on half of a bottle. You gotta do it right.
Yes. I love brandy. I really do.
Yeah.
Well, if you think it's a good idea,
I know what's best for me, dear.
I'm sure you do.
Thank you. Of course I do, dear.
So, you two have it out while we were out? George tell you his side of things? Bring you to tears, huh?
No, we...
Nope. What we did actually, if you really want to know, we just sort of danced around.
Oh, yeah?
I love dancing.
He didn't mean that,
Well,
honey.
I didn't think that he did. 2 grown men dancing heavens.
You mean he didn't tell you how he could have amounted to something if it hadn't been for Daddy? How his high moral sense wouldn't even let him try to better himself? No?
No.
Oh, and he didn't go on about how he tried to publish a goddamn book and Daddy wouldn't let him?
A
Please,
book?
Martha.
No? A book? What book?
Please, it's just a book.
Just a book.
Please, Martha.
Well, I guess you didn't get the whole sad story. What's the matter, George? You giving up?
No. No, I gotta find some new way to really fight you, Martha. Guerrilla tactics, maybe internal subversion, I don't know, something.
Well, you figure it out. Let me know when you do.
Alrighty, love.
Why don't we have some dancing? I think I'd like some dancing.
Honey.
I would. I want some.
Honey.
I want some. I want some dancing.
Right? Heaven's sake, we'll have some dancing.
I'm so glad. I love dancing, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. That doesn't seem like a bad idea at all.
Gee.
Gee.
I dance like the wind.
Yeah?
Martha here, she had her daguerreotype in the newspaper once, oh hell, about 25 years ago. Seems she took second prize in one of them 7-day dancing contest things. Biceps all bulging, holding up her partner.
Will you put on a record and shut up?
Certainly, love. So, how are we gonna work this? Mixed doubles?
Well, Mr. certainly don't think I'm going to dance with you, do you?
Certainly not. No, not with him here. Oh, not with Twinkle Toes here either.
I'll dance with anyone. I'll dance for myself.
Honey.
I dance like the wind.
All right, kiddies. Choose up and hit the sack.
Honey.
All right, George, cut it out.
Honey.
Cut it out, George.
What, Martha? What?
I said cut it out,
What
George!
did you say, Martha? What?
All right, you son of a bitch.
What did you say, love?
Son of a...
Stop! Why did you stop?
Honey.
Stop that!
I just thought it was fitting, Martha.
Oh, you did, huh?
You are always at me when I'm having a good time.
Sorry, honey.
Just leave me alone.
Well, why don't you choose it, Martha? Martha's gonna run things from here on. The little lady, she's gonna lead the band.
I like to dance and you don't want me to.
I like you to dance.
Just leave me alone.
Martha's gonna put on some rhythm she really understands. Sacre du printemps, maybe. Hey, sexy. Choose it, Martha. Do your stuff.
You're damn right.
You wanna dance with me, Angel Tits?
Hey, what did you call my wife?
Oh, boy.
No, if I can't do my interpretive dance, then I don't want to dance with anyone. I'll just sit here.
There we go. All right, Stuffle. Come on.
Oh, hi.
Hi.
Just sit here and
There.
Whoa!
Whoa! You are strong, aren't you? Oh, I like that.
Familiar dance. They both know it.
Oh, don't be shy.
Oh, I'm not.
It's an old ritual, monkey, that goes old as the cow.
Oh, I like the way you move.
Well, I like the way you move too. You like the way they move.
Oh, I'm really surprised. George didn't tell me his side of
Oh,
things.
well, he did.
Oh, well, he usually does. Every chance he
Aren't
gets.
they cute?
He does?
Oh, yes. It's really a very sad story.
You have ugly talents, Martha.
Is it?
It would make you weep.
Hideous gifts. Is that
Don't
so?
encourage her.
It would make you weep.
Go on.
I warn you, don't encourage her.
I heard you. Tell me more.
Well, Georgie boy had lots of big ambitions, in spite of something funny in his past. Georgie boy then turned it into a novel. His first attempt and also his last. Hey, I rhymed! I
warn you,
rhymed!
Martha.
Yeah, you rhymed. Go on.
But Daddy took a look at Georgie's
You're
novel.
looking for a punch in the mouth. You know that, Martha.
Do tell. And he was very shocked by what he read.
He was?
Yes, he was. A novel all about a naughty
I
boy
will not
child.
tolerate this.
Can it?
A naughty boy child who killed his mother and his father.
Stop it, Martha.
Hey, wait a
And
minute.
Daddy said, "Look here, I will not let you publish
All
such
right,
a
that's
thing."
it. That's all. That's it. Dancing's overgoing now.
Hey, what did you do that for, huh?
Violence!
And Daddy said, "Look here, kid. You don't think for a minute I'm gonna let you publish this crap, do you? Not on your life, baby. Not while you're teaching here. You publish that goddamn book and you're out on your ass!"
Desist.
Daddy said, "See here, young man, the idea. A teacher at a respected conservative institution like this, in a town like New Carthage, publishing a book like that? Oh, ho, ho, ho! Not on your life, baby. If you respect your position here, young man, young whippersnapper, you'll just withdraw that manuscript.
I will not not be made mock of.
Oh, you will not be made mock of, for Christ's sake.
And you wanna know what the clincher is? You wanna know what big, brave Georgie
You will
Bourne
not say
did?
this.
The hell I
Hey.
won't! You keep away from me, you bastard!
Hey,
You wanna know what he did? He caved in is what he did. He came home and he threw the book in the fireplace and he burned it.
I'll kill you!
hey!
Silence!
Coward! Satanic bitch!
Stop that! Stop that! That's enough now.
All right. All right. All right. We'll all be very quiet now. We'll all be very quiet.
Coward. Fucking coward.
Okay, now that's enough.
That wasn't fair, you know.
Tough.
Hello. All right. Okay, so, well, what do we do now, huh? Oh, come on. Let's think of something else. We played Humiliate the Host. We finished that one. What shall we do now?
Oh, look.
Oh, look. Ah, look. I mean, come on. We must know other games, college-type types like us. That can't be the limit of our vocabulary, can it?
I think maybe we've
Let's
had
see
enough
now. Let's see.
games.
What
for
else
now.
can we do? Are there other games? How about Hump the Hostess? How about that one? How about Hump the Hostess? Well, hell, you want to play that one? You want to play Hump the Hostess, huh? Huh?
Calm down.
Oh no,
now.
is that for later? Mount her like a goddamn dog?
Hump the hostess!
Shut up.
You want to play that now? You want to save that little game for later? Well, hell, what do we play now? We've got to have a game.
Portrait of a man drowning.
I am not
You
drowning.
told me to shut up.
I'm sorry,
No,
honey.
you're not.
I'm sorry,
I've got
honey.
it. I've got it. I know exactly what we'll play. Well, we're done with Humiliate the Host this round. Anyway, we're done with that, and we don't want to play Hump the Hostess yet, not yet. So I know what game we'll play. We'll play a game of Get the Guest. How about that? How about a little game of Get the Guest?
Jesus, George.
Book dropper, child
I
mentioner.
don't like these games.
I think maybe we've had enough of games for now.
Oh no, we haven't. We've had only one game, and now we're going to have another. You can't fly on one game.
I think maybe.
Silence! Let's see now how are we going to play Get the Guest?
God almighty.
You be
George.
quiet! I wonder. Okay, well, you see Martha here, in her indiscreet way. Hell, not really indiscreet, because Martha, she is a naive at heart. But anyway, Martha here told you all about my first novel, which I sort of preferred that she hadn't. But hell, that's blood under the bridge. But what she didn't do is Martha didn't tell us, is she didn't tell us all about my second novel. No, you didn't know about that, did you, Martha? About my second novel, true or false? True or false?
No.
No. Well, it's an allegory, really. Probably, but it can be read as straight, cozy prose. It's about this nice young couple who come out of the Middle West. It's a bucolic, you see, and this nice young couple, they come up out of the Middle West. He's blonde, about 30, and a scientist, a teacher, a scientist, and his mouse is a wifey little type who gargles brandy all the
All
time.
right now.
And they got to know each other when they was only teensy little types, right? They used to get under the vanity table and poke around.
I said all right now.
This is my game! You played yours, you people. This is my game.
I want to hear the story. I love stories.
Oh, for heaven's sake.
And Mousie's pa was a holy man, see? He ran one of them traveling clip joints based on Christ, and all them girls, he just took the faithful, that's all. Just took them.
This is familiar.
No kidding.
And he died eventually, Mousie's pa. And when they ripped him open, all sorts of money fell out. Jesus money, Mary money, loot.
I've heard this story before.
Honey.
But that's in the backwash, in the early part of the book. Anyway, Blondie and his Frau out of the Plain States came.
Very funny, George.
Thank you, Martha. And settled and a town just like Newville, Carthagena.
I don't think you'd better go on, mister.
Do you not?
No, I don't think you'd better.
I love familiar stories. They're the best.
All right, you are. Well, you see, Blondie, he was all in disguise, really, all got up as a teacher because his baggage ticket had bigger things written on it. H.I. High historical inevitability.
There's no need for you to go
Let
any further
them go
now.
on.
We shall. Now, you see, Blondie, he had this baggage, see? And part of his baggage was in the form of his mouse.
You don't have to listen to this.
Why
And
not?
Bright has a point. Well, you see, what no one could really understand about Blondie was his baggage. What? I mean, his mouse. I mean, here he was, Pan-Kansas swimming champion or something, and he had this mouse, of whom he was solicitous to the point that faileth human understanding, given the fact that she was sort of a simp in the long run.
This isn't fair of you.
Perhaps not. But like as I said, his mouse, she tooted brandy immodestly and spent half her time in the
I
upchuck.
know these people.
Do you? Well, but she was money baggaged amongst other things. Godly money ripped from the golden teeth of the unfaithful. A pragmatic extension of the big dream. And she was put up with.
I don't like this story.
Please, please don't.
And she was put up with. Stop.
Baby.
Please, please don't.
Beg, baby,
You better
beg,
stop,
baby.
George!
Now, oh, we get a flashback here to how they got married.
No.
Yes!
Why?
How they got married. Well, how they got married is this. You see, the mouse, she got all puffed up one day. She went over to Blondie's house and she stuck out that puff. And she said, look at me.
I don't like this.
Look at me, I'm all puffed up.
Stop it.
Oh my goodness, said Blondie.
And so they were married.
So they were married.
And then
And then?
what? And then what?
No, no.
And then the puff went away. Like magic. Poof.
Jesus, God.
The puff went away.
Honey, I didn't mean
You
to.
told them.
Honey,
You
I didn't mean to.
told them. No. You couldn't have told them.
Honey,
Oh, no.
I didn't mean to. Honey, baby, I didn't mean to.
Oh, and that is how you play Get the Get.
I'm gonna be sick.
Naturally.
Honey,
Leave me alone. I'm gonna be sick, but I'm vomit.
God almighty.
The patterns of history.
you shouldn't have done that. You shouldn't have done that at all.
I hate hypocrisy.
That was cruel and
She'll
vicious
get over it.
and damaging.
She'll recover.
Damaging to me.
You.
To me.
To you.
Yes.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. You've got to have a swine to show you where the truffles are. You just rearrange your alliances, boy. You pick up the pieces where you can. You look around. You make the best of things. You scramble back up on your feet.
Go look after your wife.
Yeah. You go pick up the pieces and plan some new strategy.
You're gonna regret this.
Probably. I regret everything.
No. I mean, I'm gonna make you regret this.
Oh, no doubt. Acute embarrassment, eh?
I'll play the charades like you've got them set up. I'll play in your language. I'll be who you say I
You
am.
already are. You just don't know it.
No, not really. But I'll be it. I'll show you something come to life that you'll wish you'd never set
Go
up.
clean up the mess.
You just wait, mister. You just wait.
Very nice, George.
Thank you, Mark.
Really, really nice.
I'm glad that you liked it.
I mean it. Very nice. You really fixed it.
Uh-huh.
That's more life than I've seen out of you in a long time.
Oh, hell, you bring out the best in me, baby.
Yeah. Pygmy hunting.
Pygmy.
You really are a bastard.
I.
Yeah, you.
Martha, if quarterback there is a pygmy, well, I don't know what you're chasing now. I mean, you've really changed your style. What are you going after? Giants?
You make me
I
sick.
mean, it's perfectly all right for you. You could go around like a hopped up Arab, slashing away at everything inside if you want to. Somebody else try it? No, sir.
You.
Well, I did it all for you, baby. I thought you'd like it, sweetheart. I mean, it is sort of to your taste. You know, blood, carnage, and everything. I thought you'd get all excited, sort of heave and pant and come running at me. Your melon's bobbling.
You've really messed up,
For
George.
God's sake.
I
Martha.
mean it, you really have.
You can sit there in that chair of yours. You can sit there with the gin running out of your mouth. You can sit there and tear me apart and humiliate me all night. And that is okay. That's all right.
You can stand
I cannot stand it. You can stand it.
You married me for it.
That's a desperate.
Don't you know it even yet?
Martha.
My arm has gotten tired from whipping you.
Mad.
For 23 years.
Deluded, Martha.
It's not what I wanted.
I thought you were onto yourself.
Oh, I'm
I
on to
don't know.
myself.
I didn't know. No, you're sick.
I'll show you who's sick.
Stop it.
I'll show you who's sick.
Stop it now!
I'll show you.
Stop it!